Minister of VSA gives update of corona cases in his national address. Member of Parliament for the National Alliance says that employers are not treating their workers right. But first up, Chief Operations Officer at the airport expresses regret that it had to reach this far. Those are the headlines for Monday, July the 6th, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I am Valerie Van Putten, and as usual, we have a packed newscast for you this evening, so let's get started. In our first story for this evening, following several hours of talks on Friday, July the 3rd, between management team at PJIA, the government labor mediator, and representatives of the ABVO union representing the employees at the airport, management of the airport agreed to pay the airport employees 100% of what is due to them. The monies will be paid this month, July, and this came about after employees at the Princess Juliana International Airport bitterly protested against what they said was the lack of consideration for them on the part of the Chief Executive Officer at the airport, Mr. Brian Mingo. As a result, last Wednesday morning, July the 1st, several employees at the Princess Juliana International Airport decided to stage a peaceful but effective manifestation, which led to a standstill in the operations of activities at the facility. The agreement to pay the employees was announced following a meeting with the relevant parties Friday night. At the conclusion of the discussion, the Chief Operations Officer at the Princess Juliana International Airport, Mr. Michel Hyman, expressed regret that the situation had to reach this far.
Father, we give you thanks and praise for your goodness towards us. We thank you for what was accomplished. Our hard work went into it. The ADVO and management of the airport, we came to a consensus, and in that, we continue to look to you and give you thanks for who you are. Help us to continue to be faithful always in our job and do what we have to do to accomplish what we have and what we're going to do in the future. Lord, we depend upon you because you're God, and we pray that you continue to bless the airport and help it to go on further and stronger, and we'll have a new building soon, and the revenues can come in through the way it's supposed to be.
Amen.
And we can continue to have our bonuses and our vacation pay and other increments to us. We thank you for the management and the compromise that was made, that we have accomplished this thus far. And in that, we continue to look to you for future blessings, for future directions. Thank you for all who made it possible.
Amen.
We give you the thanks and praise now. You go before us, take control of us, and be with us as we go to our various homes. Give us traveling mercy now. We pray in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Round of applause for your victory tonight as well. It has been a long road. The staff of the airport has been with the management as well the company through bad times. The bad times hit us in 2017 with the hurricane. You guys stuck by us. Again, I want to be apologetic for the fact that we had to reach this far. Nevertheless, tonight we secured your payments, everything to make sure that moving forward that you guys can continue your life in your normal pace, and that the company itself can continue growing with your services. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, as well as from the management side, to say thank you, continue the good works, and we hope to make the airport even bigger and better and stronger. Thank you.
Meanwhile, management of the Princess Juliana International Airport says that it had to tap into much-needed reserves in order to meet the recent demands of the airport workers after having been hit first by a devastating Hurricane Irma in 2017 and, in recent months, a coronavirus pandemic crisis. Princess Juliana Management says that the demands of its staff is understandable, noting that during the last 3 years, certain staff benefits were deferred with the firm intention and promise to compensate those in 2020. Things changed when COVID-19 hit the island. The landscape itself changed, and the Princess Juliana International Airport was in a very weak position of having no revenues and an uncertain forecast, said Airport CEO Brian Mingo over the weekend. Mr. Mingo said that management at the time decided to preserve job security for the permanent staff and also their base salaries. With the settlement promise made, we needed to find a balance between safeguarding the continuity of the airport, preventing staff layoffs, and the understandable demands of the staff. All of this during these pressing times, according to the airport's CEO. Now, meanwhile, speaking to PJD2's news department over the weekend, Secretary of the ABVO Union, Irvin Shen Leap, she said that they are happy that a solution was arrived at and that employees will now be paid what is due to them.
It was official negotiation, I must admit. The team put in a lot of effort. My colleagues on the board, the service group, and the members also contributed greatly to the success of the negotiation. The airport made a proposal. We presented it to the members, but they were dissatisfied with how it would be implemented, and they wanted money. They wanted what was due to them. They've been waiting on their dues for the past 2 years, and it's high time that they receive what is due to them. So after the negotiation, or during the negotiation, we gave the mandate of the employees, and at the end, after the mandate was given, the airport management board decided to have a meeting on the mandate, and they decided to agree with it.
What was the mandate coming from the employees?
The mandate from the employees was everything that was due to them over the span of the past 3 years since Irma, the back payment, the secondary benefits, intersecondary benefits. Those have been, that was agreed upon, so that would be paid out somewhere in the middle of July. The vacation allowance, which was also being negotiated, is also going to be paid out in full. And some other, not minor, but there are some more details that could not be included in this mandate, but would be discussed in, negotiated with the board of the airport in December.
Now, based on the agreement reached, Mr. Chinlipchi, do I take it that the action of the workers in terms of the manifestation has ceased?
Yes, I would say yes, because the Wednesday manifestation, although it was not the entire of the airport, but it has to be noted as well that Wednesday the airport was it was a holiday, so the airport wasn't working at full capacity. Had it been working at full capacity, you would have a lot more workers out.
And still to come, Minister of VSR gives updates of the corona cases in his national address. We'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
And as we continue now with other news, Member of Parliament for the National Alliance, the Honourable George Ponteflet, says that some employers are not treating their employees right. He went on to say that when workers go to the Labour office to complain about the treatment, they are given a warning letter. The MP expounds.
It's going on too long in St. Martin. That is the issue of the way the employers, or some employers, I don't generalize, I say some employers are treating the employees. They're not treating them right at all. As I speak right now, the employers who are paying people 50% of the salary, some of them even less than that, or some of them not at all. And when these employees go to complain to the Labour office, the employer gets a call from the Labour office, which, and let me get this clarified. Once you file a complaint at the Labour office, it is the responsibility of the Labour office to call the employer and inform him or her that a complaint has been launched against them. But what is happening right now, apparently what is happening when a complaint is launched and the Labour office calls the employer, what he or she does is give the employee a warning letter. I'm saying to the employees, once you get that warning letter, go back to the employer. To the Labour office, go back to the Labour office and let them see exactly what has taken place to ensure that they know what's going on in that organization where you're working. And let me say this to the workers who are not unionized. There's unity, there's strength in unity, there's strength in unity. Please unionize. I hear sometimes that employers intimidate and tell them that the unionize are going to fire them. That is not possible. If you're part of a union, you're stronger, you have an entity that can defend you in courts. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you to please go and unionize so that together you can deal with these employers who are abusing you for years and years now. It has to stop. And only way you can stop if you get together as a strong team.
And in more news for you at this time, in an effort to keep the community informed about the health situation on the island, the Honourable Minister of Public Health, Labour and Social Affairs, VSA, Richard Ponteflet, in his national address of Friday, July the 3rd, 2020, informed the general public of St. Martin that as of Wednesday, July the 1st, 2020, the total number of COVID cases on St. Martin was 78. The minister elaborated.
People of St. Martin, here and abroad, I hereby address you as the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labour in an update for today, Friday, July 3rd. In order to keep the community of St. Martin informed about the latest developments around the COVID-19 cases on St. Martin. The EOC was deactivated on May 28, and since then St. Martin has had no active COVID-19 cases thus far. Currently, there are no COVID-19 related patients on the St. Martin Medical Center. Notably, St. Martin has had only one positive case in the last 66 days, and a new case in the last 53 days, and no new case in the last 53 days. However, on Wednesday, July 1st, 2020, a patient who was admitted to St. Martin Medical Center tested positive for the COVID-19, bringing the total number of COVID cases on St. Martin to 78. This patient was admitted due to non-COVID related condition and was tested for COVID-19 as a requirement to be transferred abroad due to his/her condition. The management of St. Martin Medical Center informed me that when retested, the individual tested negative for COVID-19 and was evacuated to Curaçao for a non-COVID-19 related medical treatment. After testing, it was also discovered that the patient was COVID-19 positive in the past. However, this was not known, and for that reason, it was not counted in the positive cases before. I must inform you that unfortunately, this patient has succumbed to their illness and passed away in Curacao. My sincere condolences on behalf of the government of St. Martin goes out to the family and friends. I wish you much strength during this time of grief. People of St. Martin, I encourage you to continue adhering to the health protocols such as wearing a mask at all times when in public places, maintaining a 2-meter distance from others when in public places, hand washing or hand sanitizing when washing hands is not possible. As such, this was not an active case, and St. Martin active cases remain at 0. We must all do our part in the fight against COVID-19 and not become complacent. I ask that you and your loved ones continue to remain safe.
And in news now from the police blotter, in a continued effort to suppress the rapid upward climb of vehicle theft, the St. Martin Police Force patrols made another arrest on Wednesday, July the 1st, and again on Friday, July the 3rd, of persons driving stolen vehicles. On Wednesday, July the 1st, the patrols conducted a general traffic control on the 80 Illich Road around 9:30 p.m. Officers stopped a white Daihatsu Terios and requested the valid documentation of the vehicle from the driver. It was immediately apparent to the officers that the VIN numbers of the vehicle had been tampered with. Unable to provide a valid explanation, the driver with the initial CPC was immediately arrested and brought to the police station for further questioning. And in a subsequent arrest, the police patrols conducted another traffic control early Friday morning at approximately 1:30 on the L.B. Scott Road. The patrol stopped a Hyundai Grand i10. The officers again requested the documentation of the vehicles, and the driver was also unable to provide the proper documentation for that. The driver of this vehicle was also arrested and brought in for further questioning. Both vehicles were confiscated and brought to the police station in Phillipsburg. After being questioned, the suspects were incarcerated pending further investigation. Now, turning to our weather forecast for July the 6th, 2020. Another tropical wave centered several hundred miles east of the Windward Islands is moving westward near 20 miles per hour. This system is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms and is forecasted to move through the Lesser Antilles on Tuesday. Formation chance through 5 days, low, 10%. Additionally, Saharan dust will be present in varying concentrations for the next several days. Persons with allergies and/or respiratory illnesses are again reminded that they should take the necessary precautions. Seas will peak at 7 feet during the next few days. Small craft operators and sea bathers should exercise caution. Outlook through Wednesday midday, partly cloudy to cloudy with light haze and isolated showers. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, Member of Parliament for the National Alliance wants banks to extend moratorium to the end of the year. And we'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns. Stay tuned.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
And in other news for you at this time, Member of Parliament for the National Alliance, the Honorable George Ponteflet, says that economies are suffering all around the world. And as such, St. Martin is no exception. He is therefore asking local banks on the island to extend the moratorium on loans until the end of the year in order to assist local residents and businesses with their commitments.
The economy all over the world is suffering tremendously. Unemployment all over the world is at a high standard, especially we look at the States as one of our main source of income in regards to the tourists. And even then, unemployment stood at something like 46 million persons, which is quite high. Now, on St. Martin, we have not been spared the results of COVID-19 either, because as you know, the government came with an SSRP plan in order to assist businesses and persons who would not be making an income because of COVID-19. A very important sector, institution in our community is the banking sector. And of course, they are doing their best right now to give a moratorium to many persons who, of course, are in good standing in order to allow them to at least build up some savings, because once you have a moratorium, you don't have to pay your loan or whatever. You can use those funds to either put on your savings or to deal with other matters that are also important. And some banks have given moratorium up to 3 months and up to 6 months. I'm asking the banks at this time if they can extend it until the end of the year. And this might sound very difficult, but as we all know, they've always said that banks' liquidity are very strong, especially here in St. Martin. And during the 2017 Hurricane Irma, what banks did also give a moratorium of 3 and 6 months. And of course, they said they had a loss of some millions, a loss in profit. In other words, the profit that they planned for, they did not gain that, but at least they got part of the profit, so they didn't lose everything, which means they are able to do so. In the States right now, they have decided not to pay dividends to shareholders. They decide to hold those funds for capital investments to help the country itself. And I believe that St. Martin, the banks in St. Martin can also do likewise, because they also have shareholders. But at the same time, they have to understand that the people of St. Martin are going through difficult times, and they can extend the moratorium until the end of the year and also withhold the dividends from the shareholders for a certain period of time, give them time to build up some funds, and then St. Martin can get back on track again. So those are one of the things I think is important, especially in regards to the mortgages and so on. As a matter of fact, I'm also requesting them that they lower the interest rates in the United States of America. In Holland, it goes as low as 2.99%, 3%, and so on. In St. Martin, normally it's up to 8, 6, 7%. I think that if we can drop it here also, it means less payment, monthly payments, and again, a kind of a saving for the person who have to make their monthly payments when this starts again. But again, my advice and request is do so until the end of December. I think it's very important until the economy gets going again. It is a fact that we have no dollars coming in. The U.S. Market is closed to us at present because of COVID increases. We got to protect our persons health-wise and also financial-wise. But at the same time, we need assistance of the local institutions, the banks that are strong right now, to help those that are weak.
And still to come, Brazil is set to pass 1.5 million coronavirus cases as cities reopen anyway. I'll have the details to that story when SXM Daily News returns.
How are you doing this morning? Good. So Rebecca, thank you for coming. I work as a psychologist at the Mental Health Foundation. I mainly see children and adolescents, but I also see adults. So whenever there's a crowd, that's when you're starting to feel
nervous,
okay,
nauseous.
Okay, it is kind of like your body. We are so used to taking care of our body. If we have a little ache in our foot, we know to rest it. We know, okay, I might have walked too much, so I need to rest. Now, of course, that can be just an ache in my foot, but I can also break my leg. Now, for breaking my leg, I would have to go to the doctor. So that kind of goes the same for mental health illnesses. So you can come in for something little as, I'm really stressed out lately. What would you need? A little bit of rest. But someone can also come in with way more difficulties. We're not here to judge right or wrong, good or bad. Is it helpful for you? Fine. Is it not helpful for you? Okay, then let's see what we can do about it. But not a wrong nor right, absolutely not. It's a magnifying glass without judgment.
Well, there's still a lot of stigma on the island, unfortunately. It's not a topic that people easily talk about, and that's a shame. They're afraid that they get judged, and there is still quite a bit of judgment. I mean, often we hear, yeah, don't go to that crazy house. Once you go in, you never go back. And it's just not true, you know. We treat a lot of patients here, and a lot of them, we get back on their feet.
Our goal at the Mental Health Foundation is for us to help you improve your life, for you to live a better, happier, and fuller life.
And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, Brazil was set to pass 1.5 million confirmed coronavirus cases on Friday as the virus continues to ravage Latin America's largest country, even as cities reopen. Bars, restaurants, and gyms sparking fears infections will keep rising. Brazil has the world's second largest outbreak after the United States, and the virus has killed over 60,000 people in the country. In Rio de Janeiro, crowds gathered to drink on the sidewalk of an upscale beachside neighborhood on Thursday night, the first evening that bars in the city were allowed to reopen. Pictures of the revelry in Leblon, where few were wearing face masks and people were huddled close together, went viral on social media, drawing condemnation and concern. A tragedy foretold, David Miranda, a federal congressman for Rio, wrote on Twitter above a picture of the crowded sidewalks. He criticized the city's mayor, Marcelo Crivella. Crivella's decision to throw open the doors of businesses will come with a high cost, he added. In an email statement, Crivella's office said that local law enforcement had asked several establishments to close on Thursday as public health rules prohibit the gathering of crowds drinking outside bars. It said that enforcement would be ramped up over the weekend. In Rio alone, more than 6,600 people have died of COVID-19 in the past 4 months. Only 14 countries in the world have a death toll higher than the city. Intensive care units in public hospitals are at 70% capacity. And with that, viewers, we've come to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening. I am Valerie Van Putten, thanking you for joining me this evening. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.